Video review.
When it was revealed at the 2007 Game Developers Conference, Little Big Planet wowed the crowd with its Web 2.0 take on the humble platforming genre. Since then, it's gone from being the little game that could to one of Sony's major 2008 releases. Well, we're happy to report that Little Big Planet's lost none of its indie sensibilities in that time, from its homemade patchwork visual style to the enormous level of creativity it affords players throughout the entire game. Little Big Planet is a game designed to be experienced with friends, and it's a concentrated, pure burst of fun and outlandish creativity through its time. While the main story is ultimately way too short, the creation tools here are comprehensive and should allow the community to go wherever their imagination takes them.
Planet Earth. Or as the rest of the Omniverse call it, the Orb of Dreamers.
The Little Big Planet itself is where human imagination collects when it's released into the cosmos. It gathers and forms itself into a planet where ideas can run wild. Truth be told though, story isn't too much of a concern in Little Big Planet's manic universe, but this setup certainly allows the game's designers to go out there with incredibly memorable characters, locations and set pieces. You'll play in exotic Indian temples, ride snow dogs across the Arctic wasteland, and use a spring to defeat a ninja henchman, among many other iconic moments. There are 8 theme worlds in total, each with 3 or 4 individual levels that take around 10 minutes each to finish. Your representation in this world is Sackboy. This endearingly cute ragdoll is your first point of creativity, because when you collect new materials and clothing in the story mode, you can constantly change his appearance. You can dress him up in costumes, add accessories such as hats and glasses, and even add a zebra head and tail if you like. Sackboy is also highly controllable physically, and you can use the controller's triggers and analog stick to move his arms and even smack other players in the face. The D-pad controls his facial expressions too. You can tap up to make him happy and tap down to make him sad, among many other things, and repeatedly tapping in certain directions further emphasises these emotions for other people to see. You can also use the motion sensor to move Sackboy's head and hips, even making him dance along or nod to the music if you like. And with so much control over your character, you end up spending time out during each level just to change clothes and pull faces, maybe even sticking a ruffle sticker to your buddy's forehead. While you open up new levels pretty easily, the real challenge comes from finding all the hidden items, keys and point bubbles that Media Molecules have hidden all over the maps. Collecting these items allows more creative freedom using stickers, whereas music and materials can be used in the creation mode afterwards. There are even some simple puzzles. You can put stickers down in certain places to unlock more loot, and there are areas that you can only access by playing in the 2 to 4 player mode. It basically means that the levels have significant replay value, especially if you're a completist who wants to collect everything in the game. It's actually easier to play through the story mode on your own, but most sections are definitely much more fun with friends. Figuring out the puzzles and experiencing the set pieces with other people is easily the best thing about Little Big Planet. Unfortunately, there's a downside to playing in multiplayer, and it's something that afflicts platforming games in general: the camera. It frequently struggles to frame the action, and considering the frequent situations in which precision jumps are definitely required, certain sections become nigh on impossible. The generous spacing of respawn points lets you retry most of the tricky sections immediately, but if you fail after using up all of your lives, you have to go back and restart the entire level. There are many occasions in multiplayer when we were playing in which we intentionally killed all of the supplementary players just so that one player could go on and try a section without the camera jerking all over all the time. The result is a bit of a dilemma. Little Big Planet is undoubtedly miles more fun in multiplayer, but it's a lot easier to play alone. As well as the traditional platforming levels, there are also bonus levels that you can open up by collecting keys along the way. There are some brilliant mini-games on offer here, an homage to Line Rider, the car drag races, even a game where you bounce off meerkat heads to collect points. While they're also great fun to play with friends, they're just not enough to push the completion time beyond about 6 hours, meaning you can see the entire game in 2 sittings. Sure, you can go back and collect bonus items, but this is easily the biggest disappointment of the entire game. While Media Molecule's levels are brilliant showcases of level design and imagination, they're just over far too quickly.